to our next movie. Our next movie is 500 Days of Summer. It's directed by Marc Webb, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, or J-Let, as he's also known as, and also has Zooey Deschanel, the most beautiful woman in the world. And all right, so this movie is a great movie. It's about Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. He falls in love with a girl at work, and it's about his life, his life with this girl, which lasts 500 days. So it's 500 days of summer, since Zooey Deschanel's character's name is Summer. And it's not a love story, as they like to say in the preview and stuff, that it's about just him and his life with Zooey in it. And it's just this great, he's an architect. No, he's not. He's a wannabe architect, but he makes cards.
Greeting
cards. He's in a greeting card company trying to use his art degree, I guess. And, you know, he leads kind of a sad life, but, you know, it's one of those good characters. And he has a really annoying sister in it. I don't like his the least favorite character is the little sister.
Oh.
She's a really nosy, know-it-all 10-year-old, which is kind of sad. Kind of like an Abigail Breslin kind of person. But I gave this one definitely an A, because it's got all the artsy stuff that I love. A great human interest piece of just two people's lives, and you know, one has to be the protagonist, one has to be the antagonist, and just a great story. So, what do you think of it?
I really like this movie. It's definitely kind of falls sort of in the same waters as Garden State and Lost in Translation and sort of the neo-indies of late. And I've really liked what Joseph Gordon-Levitt's been doing with his career ever since he's finished with Third Rock from the Sun, which I enjoyed him in. But it wasn't until I saw Brick and Mysterious Skin that I really realized that this guy had some chops, and it's been fun watching him grow as an actor. And I think we'll see a lot more from him in the future as well. What I think is interesting about this movie is sort of sociologically what's happening with the romance, the modern romance. I think there's definitely a gender reversal going on, where we have the guys who are always the ones getting heartbroken, and the girls are always the ones who are sort of aloof and could really care less. And you know, this movie is no different. I think it makes use really well of non-linear storytelling. Like the way the movie works is we'll fast forward 102 days and watch what happened on that day and see how that juxtaposes with 54 days in the future. And you sort of get to see the bad parts of their relationship and the good parts of their relationship. And when you put them right together like that, you sort of see the big picture, which is kind of funny because the audience gets to see the big picture, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt doesn't. And he doesn't understand what's going on, but the audience does. And I thought that was pretty clever. My only real complaint with this movie, I gave it an A-. And the only reason it didn't get an A+, is because it has that too hip factor that sometimes indie movies like to do, where we have two characters just talking about the Smiths for like 4 minutes, and it's like, okay, we get it. You're cool. You like indie rock. Let's move on with the movie. It wasn't as bad as like Nick and Nora, where it was just plainly annoying, because that's what the whole movie was. But it had that a little bit. But I was able to forgive it. It's a minor annoyance to an otherwise good movie. I didn't hate the 10-year-old. I thought it was cute. It was a fun idea. It kind of showed that Joseph Gordon-Levitt still kind of has a childlike mind, and that he thinks he has everything figured out, and but he has to go to a 10-year-old to get the big picture. And she's basically playing the audience. She knows what the audience knows. But yeah, I'd say definitely big thumbs up, if I'm allowed to say that. Oh, and here's the cover. We're doing this now. I don't know. People on YouTube, do you like the covers? Because we talk about these movies and then nobody ever gets to really see them.
No, I agree with you, but Zooey Deschanel plays the ultimate aloof girl.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think all what you're talking about is, you know, how the
gender reversal.
Zooey Deschanel seems to be the head of that. I don't know. Then
Yeah.
Evan Rachel Wood sometimes plays. I don't know if you saw Whatever Works, Woody Allen's new thing. Oh, wonderful movie also, but another one where a woman kind of takes charge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been seeing it a lot. It's not just.
Yeah.
It's not just those two movies. I mean, you can go all the way back to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which this movie actually kind of reminded me of in the way it sort of jumps around and plays with the nonlinear storytelling. But and I think this is a good role for Zooey Deschanel. Sometimes I always like her in whatever she's in because she's Zooey Deschanel. But sometimes she plays in some weird movies. You're like, how did you even get the script? Like in the case of Hitchhiker's Guide and some movies like that, in the Tin Man series. But this is like a perfect part, I think, for her. So.
Definitely.
Okay.